Hey everyone, it's Scarecat Game Meta here, and welcome back. Unless you saw the trailer, this will be your first video that you're gonna be seeing. So these are all the towers of the game, including golden ones. I don't have an actual count for this website, so we're just gonna be showing you here. So we're just gonna be going in. Before we start off the video, let's just address. I am not admin in the game, like almost everyone. So we'll be putting the admin towers in there. Where's the war machine? Are those the only two admins in here? Okay. So those two towers, I'm not admin, and only admins can use them. So let's start off with electroshocker. Electroshocker is what electroshocker, it's good, but it's not amazing. It can stun towers, so it's definitely good. So A. Let's just get some of the bad towers out of the way, like sniper. Sniper, some people will put this E, but you could just use, like, save the space for, like, rangers or even mortars. Paintballer, also another F. Paintballer just sucks damage and fire rate. Oh, I'm gonna put John here too because John is outdated as well. I forgot John UK's John. I didn't realize I was in here. Freezer. Freezer, I think, is actually the worst tower in the game. There's no purpose of it. Rocketeer is very bad, way too pricey, not enough damage output. Same thing with Commando. Way too pricey, even more pricey, and not enough damage output. I think that's the last F tier tower. So now we're just gonna move along like normal. I just want to get the garbage towers out of the way. Accelerator, easy S tier, super high damage. And it's just super high damage. Even though it has that little recoil, the little thing where it has to pause to recharge its shot is still an amazing tower. Definite S tier. Military base, before, when the bug was not fixed, S tier because you could break the game with it. But now the bug's fixed, it's a B tier. Golden Cowboy. Cowboy got a nerf recently where it takes more money. Because the thing about Cowboys, it can make money, but the money part of it got nerfed. Before it would have been an A, but now the Golden Cowboy is a B, and the regular Cowboy is a C, because the Golden Cowboy and normal Cowboy have a definite noticeable of different damage outputs. Golden Soldier, to be honest, Golden Soldier, you pay way too much for this tower just to get, is slightly better than normal Soldier. Both of these soldiers are D. There is a barely difference. Why is there all these weird ads here? Alright. So both of those soldiers are just not great. Militant it has the same problem with Commando, but it's not as bad with it because it's not as pricey and it's not as terrible. Commander is a definite S tier, is definitely one of the best support towers in the game. And and if you use 3 commanders, you can chain call to arms. And then you can get a good fire rate buff permanently, pretty much. DJ, we're just gonna go to the other support tower. DJ is also another S tier. Range push and cash reduction. That's huge. Ace Pilot, it will be D. Ace Pilot has good damage, but it goes in a circle and it can't lock onto one tower, so it's just stuck in an infinite loop, pretty much. Archer is a really good early game tower. It's actually a pretty bad mid game tower and it's a decent end game tower. It's a bit weird of the road for Archer, but overall to be. Demo Man. Although Demo Man is very cheap, however, since it's so cheap, it's not F tier. The damage of it sucks, obviously, but it's a splash damage tower, and since it's so cheap, it is not F tier. It is E tier. Crook Boss is like the normal cowboy, just middle of the road. See, Golden Minigunner. Normal Minigunner is a B in my opinion, but Golden Minigunner is an A because it has an actual damage increase. A damage increase. I might be overrating this guy. Before we would swap these guys around, but since Cowboy got the nerf, Golden Minigunner is now an A. Pyromancer, we'll put normal Pyromancer is an E, and the Golden Pyromancer is a D, because the Golden Pyromancer at least gets a rate. Actually, no, they both really. Well, the Golden Pyromancer is actually useful for the winter event currently, but that's only temporary. So yeah, Farm is an easy S tier because it gives you money, and money's helpful. Frost Blast, well, money is really helpful, because you get money per wave. You can get up to 1.5 thousand per wave from just one farm, and you can place up to 8. Some of these towers, like Rocketeer and I believe Commando, some towers that I'm talking about, they have placement limits. Like Military Base, DJ has a placement limit of 1. Electroshocker. Some of these towers have placement limits, but they really don't affect it. It just really matters if the damage is good or not. Frost Blaster is not bad. It's an okay tower, but it's not a C tier. It's just Frost Blaster's just kind of there. Gladiators and not S. Gladiator is A. I use this tower a lot, but it's melee tower. Even though there's a lot of damage, it's a melee tower, so it obviously has a certain range. It is still a really good tower, and I would recommend using it if you have it, but that tower is limited. Hunter's so close to an F tier, but honestly, it's just like Frost Blaster, it's just kind of there, but it's worse, really. Medic is Medic's D tier. It can heal unstunned towers, but it can't be stunned itself, which is pretty dumb. Unless they fix that. Or if it is meant to be fixed. Mortar has the same problem with Commando and Rocketeer. It is basically Rocketeer but Cliff version. But it does a little bit more damage, escaping it from F tier. Pursuit is better than Ace. It's definitely better than Ace. Pursuit is basically, unlike Ace, Pursuit can follow a target, but it can only follow a target. Once it's locked on a target, it won't lock off until the zombie gets out of range or the zombie dies. So zombies that are ahead could get in front. That's why this tower is unreliable, but overall it's a decent tower. Scout is a really good early game tower, which is why it escapes F. A Golden Scout is actually going to be up in B. Golden Scout is really, if you know how to use Golden Scout, which I really don't, but even if you know at least somewhat what you're doing, Golden Scout is a really good early game tower for speed runs. Golden Scout is a really good speedrun tower, but Gladiator is just now a better speedrun tower. So I can't put this up with Gladiator. It's just not as good. Swarmer, it's like Scout. It's a really good early game tower, but it's just not as good. It is overall decent mid to late game and really good early game. It's a nice C. Ranger's an S tier, super high damage. Although it cannot detect stealth zombies, it is a really good tower overall. I forgot to mention that with towers like Swarm. Actually, we're going to put Swarmer back down to DB. Swarmer does not detect stealth. And we're just going to stay in E. There's a lot, in this recent update, there's a lot of towers that can't detect stealth now. Shotgunner, like these 3 towers, it's just middle of the road. It's alright. Shotgunner is definitely a little bit of an underrated tower. Shotgunner is actually decent. Slasher is not F tier. It is not it's not atrocious. It's bad, but it's not complete bad. Sledger. I gotta put Sledger Ash. Sledger. It is gonna be the lowest S out of all these towers in S, but it's an S. And the reason why it's an S is because it does 50 melee damage at max with a decent fire rate. It can get up to 4 targets. But the thing that makes it better than Gladiator, if it wasn't for this, it would be an A, or maybe even B. It can freeze zombies for an extended period of time, and you can place up to 6 of these. Even though there's a placement limit of 6, you can abuse these a lot with like 2 people or so, and you can pretty much freeze anything. Golden Crook Boss. Honestly, this is not even much better than normal Crook Boss. Is also, we'll put it as a high C. Toxic Gunner. Toxic Gunner would have been S tier until but the bug recently got fixed where it could attack boss. Well, it actually didn't get fixed. They just made it so it can't attack big boss. The slowdown effect doesn't work on big bosses anymore. Still really good on pretty much everything else, so A tier. It's not the damage, it's just it can permanently slow down zombies. And Turret is another S tier. Turret is just a high, like Sledger, it is definitely a low S, but it's not as low as Sledger. Turret is a very good tower. Turret is basically, the one thing about Turret that Accelerator can't do is that Accelerator has a little bit of it has to stop a little bit to recharge its beam. Turret doesn't do that. It does a little bit less damage, but it can be helpful against certain zombies that Accelerator won't be able to handle, and Turret has a much larger range than Accelerator. And with that is all the stuff. So obviously these 3 down here, these are Mech Base, War Machine, and John. John got taken out of the game, and these 2 are admin towers, so we can't use these 2, and John's just gone. I think this tier list came out alright. There's a lot of towers in E, but for decent reasons. Some may argue that towers like Golden Pyromancer would be in D, and Militant would be in D, but honestly, Militant's closer to F than it is to D. But anyways, that will do it for the first actual Scarecat game edit video. I hope you enjoyed. And since this channel is new, you can subscribe if you want to, but you don't have to. It's optional. So yeah. Bye!